What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode here with Heartletics, Coach Joe. And in this episode, we're going to be talking all about how pressure builds diamonds. You know, at the end of the day, I always like saying it like this, like the greatest muscle that you can simply train and work out is definitely your own mindset and understanding that life is tough, like plain and simple. You know, life maybe has been tough for you already, or maybe it has been very tough for you in the past. And who knows, maybe life is tough for you right now, but that's just the reality of it. But your mindset, that is what's going to help you through those tough times. Remember, pressure builds diamonds. And that's what we're going to be talking all about today. So at the end of the day, it's just like you need to look at this adversity and be thankful for it. Be grateful for the stress, the adversity, the negativity, the drama, whatever it is, right? That's causing you some hardships right now in your life, because it means that you're doing something good. It means that you're on the right course. It means that you're progressing where, you know, life is testing you. Plain and simple. Life is throwing you these curveballs to try to see how strong you really are. But the ones that make it through, right? The ones that achieve the success, and that can mean anything, health and fitness, more energy, career status, wealth, whatever, right? Any kind of success that you want, the ones that are able to reach that pinpoint of success, right? The top of the top, they've been through a lot of crap, right? Plain and simple. They've been through it. And now I want you to put yourself as to maybe, let's say you played sports growing up in school, okay? You probably weren't the best. Maybe you weren't very good, right? When you first got started off. But if, let's just say basketball, right? That's my favorite sport, so let's just talk about that. When I first started playing basketball, I wasn't good at it. I'm not trying to say I'm the best at it now, but I bet you anything, right? I'm a lot better now than when I first got started, right? Playing basketball. I'm sure, like, let's say if you're listening to either this podcast or watching this YouTube video, and let's say you have no basketball skills at all. I bet you if you practice, maybe let's just say 3 times a week for a whole year straight, you're going to be a lot better off by the end of the year than when you first got started off, correct? I'm pretty sure like anybody would agree on that. That's just kind of like common sense, you know? But what you need to understand is that in anything in life, the beginning, the first steps outside your comfort zone, when it's the unknown, it's the hardest. And just having that peace of mind and understanding that that's the reality of it is more about the awareness that's going to help you push through and continue on. And stay more committed, take ownership over your goals, where guess what? You can continue to do them day in and day out, put in the right actions, even though you're, let's just say, having a hard time at it. You know, it's just like school. It's just like any subject that you're learning about or training about, anything like that. Nobody is going to be perfect in the very beginning. Nobody. It takes practice. But now here's the thing. Just like in school, right? When you're playing a sport, you have coaches, and then you also have people on the sidelines cheering you on. Cheerleaders. Let's just say it like that. There's a big difference. Your coaches are going to make sure you're doing the things you don't want to do, right? Like maybe that means like running sprints, right? I hated running sprints. I'm not a runner. I have no cardio, right? I hated running sprints. But here's the thing. If you don't run the sprints in practice, and let's say you're in a game, right, the middle of the basketball game, and somebody steals the ball from you, okay? You need to sprint as fast as you can all the way down the court to try to stop them, prevent that other team from scoring. So you can see how by you putting in the actions, right, by putting in the discipline of doing the things that you don't want to do, it can still help you in the long run when it matters most. This is life, guys. Right? This is the reality of it. It only gets easier, right, the more you continue with having discipline. The more you continue making these habits become secondhand. And that's what a habit should be. You know, that's why I always tell everybody that's, you know, anybody out there looking to burn body fat or lose weight or get in shape, don't just look for the easy things to do, like cutting out carbs, intermittent fasting, tons and tons of cardio, right? Like these are the easy things that anybody can do. But guess what? It's a lot harder, right, to stick with that down the road because it's not sustainable. It's not. I don't know anybody that has, done fasting for the rest of their life and they've seen the best results. Like eventually, right, you're going to need to stop that. It's called metabolic adaptation. Something's going to occur where you got to make some adjustments. Now, if you can obviously fit your calories and your macronutrient needs inside of a feeding window, then kudos to you. That's awesome, right? And if, as long as you can fit that into where that makes sense for your lifestyle, great. Stick with that. Same thing with carbs, but I don't know anybody that has cut out carbs forever, right? Years and years and years, and we're able to sustain that. I don't know many people. I don't know anybody, in fact. So sometimes doing what's easy, like skipping those sprints, hurts us in the middle of the game. And you guys got to understand this, that this game, this life, remember, you're going to have coaches, you're going to have cheerleaders. You're going to have some people in your corner supporting you, cheering you on, hurrahing you. But what maybe you need is those coaches. That's going to make sure you're putting in the hard work. That's going to make sure you're putting in and being disciplined. That's going to make sure that you're branching out to become the best version of yourself. So my question is, who's in your corner doing that today? Who is holding you accountable? Who is telling you the reality, right? Not just what you want to hear, but telling you what you need to hear. There's a big difference. Because life's always going to throw you adversity. But maybe having coaches that has, not only played the game multiple times, but now they've coached a whole bunch of other people, they can see these trends. They kind of know how it's going to work out. They kind of know what to expect. They kind of know when life throws you curveballs. And maybe they're there to support you and motivate you to tell you, hey, when life throws you these curveballs, stay strong. You can still hit a home run with your fat loss goals. You can, as long as you're committed with it and you're disciplined and you don't give up, eventually, right, that storm is going to surpass. There's going to be the light at the end of the tunnel. Pressure builds diamonds, and that is who you should strive to become, a diamond. Strong, durable, can withstand anything. Are you currently like that now? Like so many people fall under, let's just say, the stress that life throws in, and they throw in the white towel, right? They give up on their goals. And you got to be realistic and ask yourself this. How many times have you given up on yourself? How many times are you going to continue to give up on yourself? And it's not just you that you're giving up on. Who's around you? Maybe your coworkers are seeing this. Oh, there goes Johnny. Beginning of the new year, New Year's resolution. He's going to start cutting out his carbs, but then by February, he's going to regain all the weight right back. Sounds familiar? What about your family? What about your kids? What kind of examples are you leading by constantly giving up? I honestly love when life throws me adversity and loves when life throws me stress, because I've been through so much stress in my life, especially owning my own business. That's the hardest roller coaster ride ever, the bumpiest roller coaster ride. But here's the thing. Now when life throws me these curveballs, I almost embrace them. I almost am grateful and happy, because I know that it means I'm about to progress. I'm about to level up in life. I'm about to reach that next level. And that's how you guys should be thinking too. That's why I said in the beginning, it's all about the mindset. It's all about the understanding and the awareness that, hey, this is life. Life's going to throw you curveballs. Life's going to throw you adversity, but pressure builds diamonds. Are you going to give up? Or are you going to continue to push through and put one foot in front of the other? You never know what life is going to throw your way. That's why I love, rest in peace, Steve Jobs. He has one of the best quotes out there. And he said, you cannot connect the dots looking forward in life. You can only connect the dots looking backwards in life. There's been so many times in my own life where I wanted to do something, like being the Marines, Plain and simple, like being in the Marine Corps. Like that was something ever since 9/11 happened. I truly wanted to be in the Marines. 0311, right, was the MOS, infantry. That's what I wanted to do. Guess what? I went to delayed entry program, and was doing all that when I was in high school, right? Like did all these different things. I was obsessed with it. Obsessed. Like that's all I wanted to do. I didn't even want to go to college. All I wanted to become was a Marine. But now here's the thing. Life threw me some curveballs, Every time I took an ASVAB test at the Marine recruiting station where I was, doing the delayed entry program at, every time passed it, right? Always passed these practice exams to where, the sergeant at the time, the recruiter, he's like, Callari, what's the deal? He's like, you can pass it here, but you can't pass it at MEPS, which is where you had to go to, you basically got to do all this stuff, right? You take your ASVAB test. You got to, literally pee in a cup with somebody standing next to you. And I remember I was so nervous that time. The dude, like, literally after 5 minutes, he's like, you don't have to go, do you? And I'm like, no. He's like, go drink some water, come back. And like, like these things, right? To become a Marine, as well as like doing this duck walk thing, the whole process, right? The physical fitness. And then you swear in, right? You take that oath, right? Like you sign the paper, like you're getting ready to become a Marine, right? Before they ship you out to boot camp. Guess what? That was my dream. That's what I wanted to become. I still do. I still want to be a Marine. But here's the thing. Every time I took that ASVAB, right? The real ASVAB, not the practice, the real ASVAB, I failed it. I would fail it by 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. Like it was crazy. I failed it 3 times in a row. I would always have to wait like a few months and then retake it again after studying and fail it again. It was so embarrassing because that's what I wanted to become. And I told everybody, this is who I want to become. But like, here's the thing, just like Steve Jobs said, right? You cannot connect the dots looking forward in life. You can only connect the dots looking backwards in life. It wasn't in God's will for me to become a Marine. God had a different purpose for me. And I know what it is now. It's to inspire, millions of people. It's to help out millions of people. And that's my job here on earth. And that's what I'm doing right now via my post on social media, my emails, this podcast, this YouTube channel, not to mention, Heartletics coaching. This is where we have to actually train firsthand and get that, one-on-one personal touch with that individual to make that impact in their life and create better habits and change their life for the better. But, I didn't see this back when I was in high school. I didn't see that because I couldn't look forward. And so what you need to understand is that you probably been through a lot in your life right now, and you probably already have been. When you look back, I'm sure there were some times where those mishaps, those stress, right? Those curveballs were actually a really good thing. And you're probably really happy, that actually happened because it brought you down a whole different pathway in life. And that's why I really like that quote from Steve Jobs, right? You cannot connect the dots looking forward in life. You can only connect the dots looking backwards in life. So hear me out. If you are dealing with any kind of stress in your life right now, you need to have the right understanding, the right mindset, and most importantly, the right awareness. Knowing that, hey, pressure builds diamonds. Don't give up. Don't give in. One foot in front of the other. Eventually, that storm is going to surpass and there's going to be the light at the end of the tunnel. It's just as guys, it's hard. I'll say it like this. It is hard, right, for guys. Why? Because we have this thing called egos where we think we know it all. Right? We're men. Oh, I don't need somebody's services. I can do this myself. I got YouTube. I can figure out how to do it myself. I fall into credit all the time doing this, right? I learned how to fix my lawnmower through YouTube, right? Great, helpful source. But I would never, right, go to YouTube to learn how to fix my car. That is something that I would always take into professional because I know for a fact if I'm going to mess something up, I could make it a lot worse. Now with guys, we have a really hard time understanding that. Especially when we're so sucked into all this free information all online. right? People are telling you to eat, cut out carbs. People are telling you to intermittent fast. People are telling you to do Noom and Weight Watchers and P90X and HIIT cardio, all these different things, right? It's this analysis paralysis where we fall into the trap of like, should I do this or should I do this? And we never actually get started. And then it's the cost of inaction. Do you know what that means? That means for you not doing anything at all, right? What is the cost? Maybe the cost is you continuing to not like the way that you look in the mirror, not feel comfortable and confident in your clothes, no energy to play with your kids, maybe high blood pressure, high cholesterol, right? Horrible health, different things like that, right? That's the cost of you not taking action on your health and fitness goals. At the end of the day, the ones that get through and succeed, and like here's the thing, us as coaches with Heartletics, we know all the metrics, we see all the data. Shoot, even somebody before, I literally just got off a call this morning with Coach Jimmy, and we were just talking all about it. He's like, hey, when somebody applies for coaching, do you ever notice that the people that sign up are the ones that fill out their transformation application form and they talk to him as, they talk to Coach Jimmy because his story is incredible. I'm going to get him on here one of these days. He's down over 120 pounds. Bus driver, right? Like down over 120 pounds. Like it's insane the changes that happen in this man's life all because of him taking action. And that's the hardest thing for people to do. It's the hardest thing for guys to do is to take action. And what does that mean? That means get started. And sometimes that also means admitting that you don't know what to do. Once again, it's hard, especially with all these free resources out there. It's very hard for guys to do that. But here's the thing, like just like the guys that get signed up for coaching, they go through this process, these steps. The guys that commit to reaching their goals, it's the same thing. They go through this process, they go through these steps. What are the steps, what are the processes that you need to adapt to in your life to help you? To help you not just overcome maybe having better health, better fitness goals, but more success in your career, a better relationship with your spouse, more activity with the family and playing with the kids with more energy. What's the process? What are the steps? You can also look into this as what are the habits that you're doing? At the end of the day, like that's what's going to help you out the most. In my humble opinion, right? If you have habits. Now, these habits doesn't mean just drink plenty of water, be active, eat healthy. Like, no. The very beginning of this podcast, this YouTube episode, I talked about pressure builds diamonds. And as long as you know that and understand that, right, you're going to be well better off. So that way you don't quit and throw in the towel. So what does that mean? What are your habits working on your mindset? I made a post the other day, talking about like me and my son. It was him in the back seat, in his car seat. He's flexing, I'm flexing there, right? And like I made the post as, we do everything together. We train, we eat, we're active, right? Like he's my buddy, he's my best friend. But most importantly, is when I'm dropping him off to daycare in the mornings, we're talking about affirmations. We're saying affirmations. We're affirming different things into our minds, into our lives that we want to become true, that is going to help us out. Mentally. So what are the habits that you're focused on creating within your own lifestyle that's going to help you make that mindset shift? The mindset shift for success and greatness that's could potentially happen in your life. Some of you guys don't work on your mindset. Hence why your bodies look like crap. Imagine this, right? If let's say the favorite athlete, right? You had the same mindset as them. What would be different about your life? If you had the same mindset as them, maybe like Michael Jordan or something like that, always showing up to practice, showing up early, even games that you lost and missing the game-winning shots, you still showed up for practice the next day. You still continue to put in the work. How would your mindset, right, be like if that was yours? What would be different about your life? What would be the discipline and habits and skill sets that you would have in your own life? And this is one of the key things that we help guys with inside Heartletics coaching program. We really help people change and adapt. And we tell everybody this. Who do you want to become? Awesome. Let's start thinking like him, and let's start incorporating some of these habits today that person's probably doing. And it's all about guidance. It's all about accountability, right? Making a commitment to one another. Like a coach, guess what? Like he's coaching, right? He's helping you. He's making sure you're showing up to practice. He's making sure that you're doing the things. Coaches are not cheerleaders. Coaches, right, are going to tell you, hey, when it's time to be serious and when it's time to listen up, right? They're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear like a cheerleader. A cheerleader is going to be someone that's just going to patty cake everything. So be very careful into who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, are your friends, are your family, are they pushing you to that next level? You know, personal growth, personal development? Are they pushing you to become the best version of yourselves? Or are they just happy with where you are today? And maybe you're happy with where you are today as well. We'll just call that comfort zone. Now ask yourself this. How long have you been struggling? Has it been 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Not liking the way that you look? Not having energy? Not having great health? No confidence? Well, guess what? It's time to step outside your comfort zone because your comfort zone is actually killing you. Your life is not going to change if it hasn't changed in the past 5 years. That is the reality of it. You need to pull yourself from your current situation and put yourself in a different environment. An environment that's going to scare the crap out of you. But guess what? Pressure builds diamonds. That is where you progress. That is where you level up. So guys, I really hope you guys got some motivation, some value from today's episode. If you did, please, like and share this on your social media page. If you guys want any other, more motivation, more tips and tricks for success on your fat loss journey, maybe some free references as well, highly recommend checking out Heartletics.com. As always, I'm coming on here on these platforms to help you guys every step of the way. And I know for a fact it all starts with maybe just having the right mindset. And maybe when you progress with having the right mindset, maybe the mindset of pressure builds diamonds, you can be one step closer to your health and fitness goals. So with that being said, guys, once again, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out, Girl Scout.